two, one. Hey, what's going on? This is James King Baskin, and I am here with one of my very first clients, Patrick Phillips. This is a 3-year look back with one of our first clients. I wanted to bring him on, talk about his experience working with us 3 years ago. And Patrick, when you were a client with us, what was your experience like? What were you doing back then? Take us back there, 3 years.
Yeah, man. So 3 years ago, I was in high ticket sales and I was selling for Bobby Stocks. I was selling a course for loan officers, how to generate leads. And, I had a huge pipeline at that time. I had a bunch of people that I was talking to, and the ads had been up for, months. And I had a lot of people that had fell through the cracks, and I had, new people that were coming in consistently every day. And so, it got to a point where, I knew that I had a lot of leads that I didn't really even have the time to follow up with. And so that's when, I saw your services and connected with you and realized, why wouldn't I, just have you go through and do the work that I don't have time to do, so then I can have some more appointments. And at that point, there were people that I had already talked with, so they were way easier to close and, just way easier to sell at that point once you got them back on my calendar. And it got an angle that was a little bit different. It came from somebody else. It was a different touch, right, than just me calling back and saying the same old thing. And so, it was a really nice, like, different angle that it came from. And then went ahead, got them onto my calendar, and got some more clients and some more customers, and were able to help and make a difference for some more people. So it was overall just a win-win, and well worth it. Made my money back like that, and then started profiting. And also, you guys, your service and your communication was great. We had calls. There was never any what happened to James or, anything like that. You were always right there. Or someone from your team was always there in communication, which was awesome. And so, and it was fun too. I remember, we would, hang out and just talk and just chat it up. So it was great, man.
There's a few things that you talked about there that I have a couple of questions about.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing another one of these calls the other day, and one of the clients mentioned having someone else call my leads portrayed the fact that I was busy, and the perception being that I'm larger. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? Because I know you got some stuff shaking your head there. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think that, I think that people listen to you a certain way, right? Based off of whatever experience they had with you. There's kind of like this filter that's created. And you might, I might have said something that, I don't know what would have happened, with what I said, but the way that they listen to me from then on is completely different. And so I think when you come in from another angle, it, first of all, it offers this other listening, this other, angle, like I was saying, and then also portrays, like, who's this person that has, does he have a team that's also calling it? It paints the picture that there's this whole operation going on, which really, I was using your service. So yeah, I think from multiple different ways, like, you don't necessarily, I didn't actually think about that, at the time. I was more so just, saying, like, how do I just keep up with all the new leads that are coming in? There was, an overwhelming amount. So at that point, I just wanted some help to just call my leads. But then once, we got that actual touch, and then, got on the phone with them again, it was like, that was great. I even had one of the leads that was like, I appreciate you, having somebody else follow up with me. I meant to get back with you. And then we just went back and got back on, where before it was like I was hounding them.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this thing like that. So it was a little bit different of a dynamic. So it was great.
Yeah. So for myself, we're doing this internally,
Mm-hmm.
and what's interesting is if I was doing it myself, it would be like, if he's so busy, why is he doing this? And it
Mm.
kind of can almost seem like desperation. And then if someone else is doing it, it's like, oh wow, they're calling. I don't remember exactly how the script went, but I know we were, you recently spoke to Patrick Phillips in the past, and it's like, oh wow, Patrick's not even following up with me now. Someone else on his team is following up with me.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%. Yeah, it definitely like who knows what they're thinking. It's like this whole other it opens up this whole other world for people for sure. So it's definitely powerful, and it's unique in the sense that, like you said, it's not just me. Especially it can save you because, like I said, you could say something that just totally throws the person off, and then they get a call from somebody else, and then here you are, back on the phone with them somehow, and it's because you bridge the gap.
yep. I was just thinking, and what's cool about when I do these calls is I get ideas and I brainstorm things. And I was just thinking to myself, the value and price is irrelevant. And the price of our service, the value of it alone, just having someone else call, just that mindset it sets for the other person
Mm-hmm.
online, social media land, or in their phone, that person is now high value. It's like that person, I'm like, that alone justifies the price. It's not even the work getting done. It's like, oh my God, they're so busy. Their secretary reached out to me.
Right.
What's it cost again?
Yeah. Yeah. So it also is altering, the way that they see you,
Mhm.
and the way that, you show up, and just the whole way that the way that you occur to them completely changes. So yeah, it adds that dynamic to it too, for sure.
One of the cool things was 3 years ago, a lot of our SOPs weren't even in place yet, and you know, some of our SOPs, I know that you gave feedback. I think that was really cool. Open communication. So thank you for that. Patrick definitely gave feedback on some of our stuff and with processes and things like that. Um, so we were calling for you, people that had said to follow up with them in 30 days, and then people that no showed, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And if you can, I know we're both going back 3 years. This is the fun part of a 3 year
Yeah.
throwback interview.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting parts, if we can both go back there, the sales you made, what how is that conversation different than the sales that came, direct from a Facebook ad, direct to booking?
Yeah. Um, I think I was saying before, I'll kind of talk a little bit more about it. It was like, if I talk to somebody initially, it's a lot different than if I had already talked to them before, then
Mm.
they kind of like something happened, then they get back on the phone. I think trust is kind of built over time like that, in my experience. So when you have somebody that might come first off the ad, they don't know you at all. So, then they talk to me, and then something, whatever happens, and then somebody else calls, and now we're back on the phone. And now this is like technically like the third or fourth touch. It's a completely different kind of a relationship and a conversation versus, in the very beginning. So I think it's, and like I was saying, there was people that, they literally just needed that one more kind of touch from a different angle just to get back on the phone with me and then register, versus if I were to continue to follow up with them, like you said, it would look pushy, or it would be, look some kind of way where in this case scenario, they get back on the phone, then trust me even more because, like I was saying, you kind of bridge the gap from that first call to the third or the fourth call without me getting involved. And then it was just, smooth from there.
Said the magic word. I wish I had like a buzzer that could go off with the magic word. The new magic word is called bridging the gap, and bridging the gap between an old lead, call it what it is, an old lead, and a
Mm-hmm.
future sale.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just going to be an estimate, so we could both throw a number out there. I'm going to say 95% is going to be my number, and I'll tell you what I'm going to say 95% to. 95% of sales teams on a high ticket closing program are not following up with old leads and are running traffic to get new leads in. And what do you think that number is? My guess is 95%.
Yeah, this is another thing that I was just talking to somebody about. If you feed a closer like how Bobby was feeding me, I was spoiled. They're not going to go and hunt down the old leads unless, some will, and I was to a certain degree, but I couldn't even keep up because there was fresh leads coming in every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can get a little bit, take your foot off the gas when it's like, I don't really need to follow up with all, I got new leads coming in. So it really cleans up all the money that people are burning, on these new leads and stuff like that, without really cleaning up all the profit that's inside of all the dead ones. And they're not even really dead, obviously, because then I ended up closing them. So it's really squeezing the most juice, having you go back and then call all those leads and, making sure that nobody falls through the cracks, which even if you are following up with a lot of them, or at least you think that you are, to have that other angle and to have somebody else, that dynamic, even, one deal is usually worth it,
Yeah.
for a client that you're servicing. So it's like, why would you not do that? So that's what I would say about that.
Especially for high ticket. And so a lot of stuff I uncovered is coming from this last interview I had, and it changed my mind on my whole entire services. So that's where my brain's at right now, just to keep it real. One of our clients, did 160,000 last year, 200,000 this year, just from our services. I know we did 5 figures working with you on the high ticket side on follow up and the paid, and they paid for the service. So the thing that we saw with this last guy was he didn't have us follow up with leads. He actually had us follow up with clients. Blew my mind. I didn't even know he was doing this. And because when we were calling them, they're like, "Oh yeah, how's he doing?" And I'm like, "This is odd." And he was offering them another service. And so I'm thinking with you right now as I'm talking, what do you think it would be like if we went through Bobby's old leads and we said, Bobby has an inner circle program now, it's $25K. I've been assigned to get you the information, my team doing it, whatever. And then we're booking it for you to talk on behalf of Bobby. So now we've got 3 degrees of separation from Bobby. And hey, this is Mark from Bobby Stocks' team. This is 3 years ago now. And I've been assigned to get you information about Bobby's inner circle program and see if you're a good fit. It is a 5-figure investment, I want to tell you. And if it's something you're interested in, I can book you on the calendar. What do you think that would look like 3 years ago? 3 years ago now.
Yeah, 3 years ago, it'd be crazy. I mean, even now that works, just because, they're already in the program. That's an easy, set, and it's just easy to save somebody's time to get the calendar filled up without even, reaching out to anybody.
Second money.
Yeah, second money. Exactly, for sure. So yeah, that'd be a no-brainer. I didn't even think of that.
Dude,
I wish he would have had an inner circle back then.
I like I said, I didn't even think of it, and now I'm going to anyone I work with and I'm telling them, hey, because we have a separate package for old leads, and I'm telling people even new leads, I'm like, hey, it's the same price as what you're already paying monthly, and we'll go back through, find X amount of people that are your clients. They have to be in the industry, whatever insert niche, whether it's real estate, mortgage, contractor. They have to be in the industry long enough that they have a list of clients, probably like 3 to 5 years, and that it's going to make sense. And then it's like, oh, hey, I haven't heard from so-and-so. He sold me into the program. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you. I remember who sold me into courses. And it's like, if that person follows up with me. Now, if they follow up direct, that might have a higher close rate. I'll be straightforward.
Yeah.
Third party follows up on behalf of that salesperson. Now, that might be a little bit interesting. It might be like, hey, I've been assigned on behalf of Patrick to get you information about more information about the C2C Inner Circle program. Is that something Patrick looks forward to talking with you? What's your thoughts on that?
100%. I like that. I like that. It's different.
It,
Definitely.
everyone's chasing the new lead. Everyone's like, how much money do we have to spend to get a new booked appointment in the door? And the smart marketers know their numbers and they know, oh hey, uh, we're booking with Google at 150 per appointment booking rate. With Facebook, we're booking at 75. Google's higher intent, whatever that might be.
Yeah,
And
it's a
they're
great point. Like that's actually a really good point. I'm actually inside of the business that I'm in now. We were just looking at, our cost per acquisition versus, on one platform versus, wait, first of all, we have all these leads. And then also, and you never, I don't preach, slowing down. I think that you never really catch up. And I think that, if you switch over to, the thing that's going to get you the cheaper cost per acquisition, that's what the smart business owner is going to do. So, yeah, not necessarily slowing down, but as you're continuing to keep spending, also, going through and making sure that nobody falls through the cracks. You're going through and you're hitting everybody, 4 or 5 times at least, like you guys do, and making sure that, again, you clean up all those profits and get everybody into your program, help as many people as possible with whatever your service is.
Excuse me. It's interesting how many people get forgotten and they're still interested. And I forget what the program was recently, but I saw an ad for a program and I said to myself, if I get a phone call from this program, I'll probably end up buying it. So hopefully I don't get a phone call. And I never get phone calls for any of this stuff. You get the, I guess we could talk a little bit about automation. You get the automation stuff. I know you like doing some stuff currently with automation. But back then, 3 years ago, I know it looks a little bit different. And I want to keep this, high ticket sales related. I don't want to, because high ticket sales is its own thing. It can't be compared to mortgage. It can't be compared to contractors. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
High ticket sales and automation 3 years ago compared to now, better, worse, better?
I mean, I think it's completely different. I mean, it's the same thing, but I just feel like most people weren't really doing it as much. Where now everybody's doing it.
Saturated.
I don't think it's as powerful. Yeah, it's kind of lost its power, which is why you see so many people, building out messaging teams and things like that. But nothing can replace the human interaction ever. Yeah. It's timeless. So as much as people, want to say that, you can do all that, and the automations and stuff, people know the automations now, they get the emails and the texts from everybody. So yeah, getting that human interaction, getting an actual phone call is completely different. And I think has way more power. So yeah, it's not even going to compare to, a message that's coming through or an email.
Yeah, I did a Facebook Live a while back, and I titled it "Automation is Making Us Lazy," and that statement includes myself, by the way. And it's like my calendar reminder system sent you some reminders today, so I guess I will do a look at today, and then.
Oh, dude, I didn't even have I wasn't sure if I got the calendar invite or not, and then I get a phone call. I hung up on her. But then right afterwards, I get the text message with the link, and I was like, oh my God. But I realized who it was. If I were to just get the text message, I probably wouldn't really have paid attention. I got the phone call. It doesn't matter that I hung up on her. I still knew oh my God, this is James's. Then I made sure that I was on time after I hung up on her.
Yeah.
And sorry to whoever that was.
Oh, you're good.
So yeah, it's definitely the power of both of them versus just the one. It's a completely different game, I think. You get somebody that's dialing the leads, completely different if they talk to somebody on the phone and get a message and get a text and an email and all that.
Yeah, it's what's funny is on our own internal end, it actually came back as call hung up, no answer. And then our process is to send you the Zoom link, and then we reference what this is, and obviously you made it here, and so it's just it's a testament to how we have things set up. 3 years ago, it didn't look like that. You know, I like this like mirror and back and forth, like three
Yeah.
years, kind of what it looked like um, uh, working with us,
Mm-hmm.
and so back then, 3 years ago. This company is now two Comma Club winner
Mm-hmm.
for loan officers, and you are running calls with them. Fill me in with because I do this on my call to an extent, and I want to see like 3 years ago if you were doing this because it was like a different version of both of us. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing this 3 years ago, and I actually believe you might have been doing this. When
Yeah.
you had someone that was not interested in the moment, and they, we get the people that say, "Oh, I'm looking to get started next month." It's like, sure, you know what I mean. And 1 out of 10 of those might even, you know, talk back to you again on a call.
Mm-hmm.
The people that were doing that, which what we followed up on, what would you say to them? It's like it's apparent you're not going to make a sale, but you don't want to let them get off that call. Like, and did you do anything to like book it out further? Like, did you do anything to keep the conversation open for a month, or did you just let them go?
I mean, I would usually book them out further, and then I do that now, especially for sure. But
Back then too.
what's that?
Back then, 3 years ago too.
No,
Oh, okay, yeah.
like I would if I did. Um, like I wouldn't actually call them. I would see that in there, but at that point, it's just kind of like meh.
Yeah, a bunch of new business on a bunch of new appointments that got booked. Why that
Yeah.
first nobody
Well,
comes
that's
out.
the other thing. I wouldn't do that because I knew I had new fresh appointments coming. I
Exactly.
would block up
Yep.
my calendar with that kind
Yep.
of stuff. So looking back, I think I probably would have done that a little more, like left it open. So you're probably right. I initially said yes, but I don't think I did actually. Um, so yeah, I think
Me neither. I didn't do it. I do it now, but I didn't do it 3 years ago.
yeah, same here. I guess that now I'm thinking about it. Um,
I got a funny story why I have to jump in and say this because I know something you want to say, but I want to say this.
yeah,
I had a guy that got was a referral, and maybe he sees this one day, maybe he doesn't. But he wasn't a good fit to work with us. It was a whole bunch of stuff he wanted us to do, and a lot of it we don't do. He wanted us to customize all this stuff, and some of it was like borderline not even like legal in the phone world of making phone calls. And at the end of the call, he's like, "Hey, so and so teaches that you should book an appointment out further, and you didn't even bother to do that with me." And then it was like that awkward, like, "Well, actually, you're not a good fit for us to work with, and that's why I didn't do that." And it was like really awkward. I was like, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. I'm not trying to like make someone feel bad. I'm like, "Hey, man, we just don't do that." And then
yeah.
he's like, "I noticed you didn't do a 30-day out appointment with me, and that's taught inside the program." And I'm like, "The reason why I didn't do that is you're not a good fit for us to work with, and I don't want to violate TCPA, telephone compliance laws." And so I just had to share that real quick. But
Yeah, that's great.
you
Yeah,
were
those are
you
the
had something
best.
you were thinking about with the 30 days out?
Huh?
Were you going to say something? I know we kind of jumped in there.
I forget what I was gonna say something. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I think it was just that like I, even that if I had people that were in the pipeline, like I think if we're being honest, you know, I think that I clean up my pipeline, like, and I definitely um, follow up with everybody. But I'll be honest, if I had some kind of a call with somebody that just didn't go so well, I'm gonna probably not, when I look at the lead, it occurs to me a little bit differently than if you know what I mean? So, and I think that you're lying to yourself if you don't have that. I don't know. Maybe people don't, but I definitely do. And so, with your guys' service, there's no judgment. You're just You're just calling. There's no hesitance. There's no thinking about, that. And there's no like, a personal growth training and development course that I did calls it the already always listening. Like there's a way that you listen based off of experiences in the past. Like I was talking about before, they don't have that. Your team is just calling. They have a brand new way of listening. So there's no past being brought into these calls, and it's fresh. And you guys provide that listening for people. That's another thing that's like, they wouldn't get from the salesperson again. And then if the salesperson sees that they booked on the appointment, the salesperson sees the lead differently now than they did before when they weren't interested. Now it's like, oh, I thought this guy was whatever, but he booked again. Like, that's interesting. Like, so now, it changes the dynamic. It's completely different and that would have never happened anyway if you weren't calling the leads. So I think I just wanted to throw that in there. That makes a difference.
Which opened my mind right now to write something down that I don't think either one of us thought about. Mm-hmm. With the people that maybe they said they didn't have the money and now they're getting followed up with, or maybe they said they didn't have the time. And my team calling, there's no emotion. So that thought process of like, oh, this person doesn't have the money, but let me call them anyways, which is going to come out in my tone, which is going to come out in my delivery. Now it's like this person that's like, same thing, same emotion on every call, and put them on your calendar. When you see them, you get to look at them different, like what you said, to kind of mirror that. And no emotion is what I came up with when booking it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
It's because we're still human at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And if we're calling on someone in our database and we've got some notes and it's like, oh, it's Jimmy Brown or Jimmy Smith again. He keeps on booking appointments with me and he says he doesn't have the money versus, now we qualified him. Maybe we add a question, are you ready to get started within the next week or something like that? And he says yes. And it's like, you might not even remember them because you're not even the one booking it and someone else is doing it for you. So not even the perception you're larger than that, but the perception that your emotion is removed from it because you don't make the call.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your people have no emotional, what would you say? I was going to say deposit, but that's not right. No emotional investment. Nothing is, exactly. They have nothing invested in these people. It's just literally they're calling, they're taking the action, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, so it relieves all that stuff that goes on with you as a salesperson. You really can't help to do anyway. It's automatic. So you get somebody like that comes in and it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, which opens up a whole nother thing, energy. It gives the salesperson energy because they don't have to chase after these, let's call it what it is. They're not the closer leads, whatever you want to call them. They're second class leads instead of first class being Facebook booked appointments. These are second class leads that might move up to first class, but the salesperson's you would have to spend a lot of energy following up with people. I know you were doing it to an extent. You do it better than people.
Yeah, and I didn't have a setter either. So it's definitely perfect for, like if you're, I know that we're talking about high ticket sales, but like marketer, roofer, mortgage broker, roofer, insurance agent, somebody that you don't have a team that has salespeople and then setters, and you're just the salesperson. This is actually like 100% without a doubt a no-brainer because you are literally leaving money on the table every day. Or if you have an agency or you're somebody that's like, you're more in the beginning stages where you have appointments coming in, but you're also the entrepreneur, you're doing the fulfillment, or maybe you're just a salesperson like how I was that didn't have a setter. You need to clean up the leads somehow. So easiest way to do that is just to get you to come in and just, clean them up make your money back like that and then start profiting. So it's a no-brainer. 100%.
Bam,
Boom.
bam, boom, boom. That's it right there. That I think, like there was a testimonial you did for us when you were in Colombia, and
Yeah.
I think it was the same statement, very similar statement, leaving money on the table with this and without having this, because I got to practice what I preach. Like I said, we're going through my stuff right now. They just set someone else and I'm supposed to talk to them, and I don't even know. It's not tentative, but it's like 15 minutes or 30 minutes from now. I forget whatever the amount is. And it's like, hey, have James call me after this amount of time. And, since it's same day, we don't have to formally put it on the calendar. And since I have the guy's cell phone number, that's cool. And we're doing it for myself. And I look back in the day and it's like, why didn't I do this sooner? And I'll take it a step further. I'll take it a step further. The past clients, I truly believe this. The past clients I've worked with, now this may not necessarily be something that every industry will involve someone else can fill the seat of you doing it. I think there's a lot of power of the individual doing that. I will admit that. Me going through and calling people and having that heart to heart versus one of my team members doing it, much different outcome. That being said, if it's just the appointment and you've got 200 plus clients, which means you've been around for a little bit, I can see like 5 or 10 or 15 of those people booking an appointment with just a setter, with just like my call team, and with the individual. But I can see a higher rate if I was doing it myself. So we go back to the same kind of thing, time versus money. Is it something I want to invest my time in, energy? I should say time, energy, and money, which it all equals the same thing, which goes back to money at the end of the day.
Right.
You also got a limited edition Outsource Kings shirt. You got a limited edition Outsource Kings shirt. I hope you still have it. That is a question. I hope you still have it.
Is at my parents' house.
All good. Oh, you still got it. Those.
And I got the hats there too, I think.
It's interesting, those shirts, just kind of like wrapping up those shirts. I think they were costing me like between like $30 or $50 after shipping and all that stuff. And eventually I was like, yeah, I got to stop like sending these shirts. And then like I was like, you know what, if they buy in like this high package and they've been with me for 3 months, I'll send them a shirt, something like that. And then the guy that was doing them, he's like, now he's a successful real estate agent. So shout out to Rob Tuff. And he's like, dude, no more shirts. And I was like, oh man. But yeah, so you got one of the tie-dye Outsource King shirts.
I do.
Favorite 3 colors, your favorite music, and then the guy that made the shirts would listen to your music and would combine your favorite 3 colors. Very rare, very, very limited.
I didn't even know about that part of music.
I know. I asked you your favorite 3 colors, and then I probably was like, oh, Patrick likes, I don't know, Eminem or whatever kind of music. And then the guy listens to it and he makes the shirt. Very odd business way of making shirts. I don't even know if he was even profitable doing that. It's so funny, that kind of stuff. But
he was just having fun. As long as he was having fun.
Yeah, that's it at the end of the day, man. I think that's also, a good closing point is at the end of the day, it's about having fun and who you're working with. We appreciate working with you.
Yeah.
And it like you said, it's fun. You know what I mean? It's not oh shoot, this person's calling me again. Oh shoot, I gotta do this. And it's, do I want to work with this person? Do I enjoy what I do? And you said it right there. It's about having fun. Are we growing and having fun while we're doing it? Sure, life happens. I don't know if you had anything. I do want to give you closing thoughts on having fun, but I wanted to let you talk on that at least.
Yeah, I think it's always good to have fun. Yeah, I think if you're too serious all the time, not too much fun. You gotta have some fun, bro.
I agree, man. I agree. So thank you again for doing this. I'm gonna upload this on Thursday. I'll post about it in a little bit. This has been awesome. I'll wrap with you for a little bit after. Appreciate you as always. 3-year look back. This is cool. This is different. Hopefully someone got something out of it. Hopefully get inspired to either go through their list or have my team go through their list. So thank you for doing this. This is great.
Yeah, yeah, bro, 100%. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man.
Cool.
Cool.